Welcome to Friday.
Hello, everyone.
How's everybody doing today? As you can see, I'm Bo, and this over here is Sprite.
Well, actually, this is Sprite here. The real Sprite couldn't make it today, so I am standing in for Sprite. I'm Doug DeWitt, product manager here at Condi Systems. Thank you for having me on your show, Bo. Because usually when we're doing my show, the T-shirt transfer paper power half hour that we do every other Tuesday, I don't have you on camera. I put you in the corner.
I'm back there.
But I get to share the stage with you today, and I'm happy to do it, buddy.
I was going to make a joke about how they fired up the CERN, the particle accelerator that created the Mandela effect.
Oh.
And everyone remembers Sprite looking different.
Well, I tried to paint my hair purple, but I think something went wrong with the mixture, and it just kind of fell out. So, which just goes to show you cannot replicate, the crisp and clean, no caffeine Sprite Rosewood. But since Sprite's not here today, Bo invited me to the show. He was like, "Can you tackle a subject for us?" And I'm like, "Hopefully it's a subject I know." And we were talking about the Ricoh Ri 100 that we just started carrying here at Condi. And Bo was basically asking, could we demonstrate this unit on Friday Live?
Yeah, we usually do sublimations, so
Yeah, so
we haven't had a chance to do the DTG yet.
Yeah, so this will be kind of outer rim for some people, so to speak, messing around with this thing. But we're going to do a few products today and show you how cool this little setup is. And so what we've got here, Bo, this is the Ricoh Ri 100 DTG, direct-to-garment printer. Now, to show everyone at home, you've got 4 individual print cartridges. You've got black, cyan, magenta, and yellow. Thank you, Bo. And as far as the front cartridges are concerned, brand new, if you're doing A4 size prints, which is what this is capable of, you should be getting about 400 to 500 prints out of a set of cartridges. So as far as the ink is concerned, it's very skimpy on the ink. The ink has a shelf life of about 6 months. As far as the print quality on this, Bo, it can print up to 1200 by 1200 DPI image resolution. Although the mode that we're going to run it in today, which is fine mode, we'll be printing at 600 by 600. And that's just so that we can get through the demonstration. But essentially, your fabric material loads into this garment tray right here. There are 2 sizes available for the garment tray. There is an A5 size and an A4 size. Now, the A5 is approximately 5.8 by 6.5 inches. The A4 size, which is what we have in here, you're looking at about 8.25 by 11.7 inches. Okay, so that's your maximum print size.
So the A5 is smaller than the A4.
That's how the Japanese do it, Bo.
Okay.
So yes, A5 is half the size of A4.
I learned something today.
There you go. But both trays can fit inside. The garment itself actually fits within the tray, and we'll give you a demonstration on that here in a second. But the whole tray goes inside the printer. We're using micro piezo print heads inside of this Ricoh, printing cyan, magenta, yellow, black. Now, what that does mean, there is no white ink in here, so we're not going on to dark garments. We have to go to white or light color. But the nice thing about the Ricoh ink is it can work on cotton, it can work on cotton poly blends, it can even work on 100% polyester. So unlike some direct-to-garment systems, you're not having to swap ink back and forth depending on what material that you're going to use. It will run a fairly thick material. And what's really neat is you can get this optional curing unit, the RH100. Now, the RH100 basically allows the Ri100 to stack on top of it, but this is in substitute of a heat press. This will do your preheating. It will also do your ink curing. It's got a temperature range between 140 to 170 degrees Celsius. And as far as the curing time ranges from 1 minute to 6 minutes, depending on how much ink you put down, Bo, and the thickness of your substrate. So
Doug, we have a question from Barb on here asking if you can do smaller shirts in the bigger tray. And we are actually going to be doing a smaller shirt in the bigger tray today, right?
Well, we're going to
potentially.
Yeah, we're going to try to basically demonstrate something about this printer. As I mentioned, as far as the ink is concerned, not only does it work with cottons and blends and 100% polyester, but the inks are also CPSIA and California Prop 65 compliant. So in other words, there's nothing harmful in there, even if we were to make baby clothing or toddler clothing, which of course is federally regulated. So that's what we're going to attempt to do today. We're going to turn this thing into a baby maker. Well, baby clothing maker, I should say, you know, not like the actual baby maker, but you got to admit, you know, it is pretty fine. I mean, you can probably get some compliments, maybe get some dinner, see this in your shop. So, you know, that'll at least get you started. But what we're going to do is we're going to try to make baby clothing with it. And the first thing that we're going to attempt, and I'm just going to hold it up here because I've already got it inside.
You want to go to this camera?
Yeah, let's go to this camera.
No, I was going to say this one. We could.
Oh, this one right here. Okay,
yeah.
We could probably do that.
I had it all lined up.
I hope everyone can see that. This is one of our baby bibs, and we're going to attempt to decorate this polyester baby bib using the Ricoh Ri 100. So as you can see, the bib itself is slightly smaller than my print area. So the trick is going to be lining this up.
Did you put something here? A piece of paper?
I put a piece of paper here just in case I slightly missed my alignment. You know, the overspray would catch the paper and hopefully not get on my tray.
So Patricia had a question earlier and then asked why I had my mask hanging from my ear. And I just want to say that every live, it's one of Sprite's jobs to make sure that my mask isn't hanging from my ear.
Oh, well,
she always says, take your mask off.
Well, you didn't tell me to check that.
Yeah, I always forget that. But now she's asking.
Where's your hanging mask?
No. Will this work on all types of fabric and other substrates like a soft towel?
As far as
you did do the soft towel in your live, right?
I did a tea towel in my live, the TTPPH8 show that I did on this. But to answer that question, so to speak, since this has a temperature range between 140 and 170 degrees, if you're going on 100% cotton, you want to set at 170 to do your pre-pressing and to do your ink curing. If you're using 100% polyester or synthetic garments, then I would drop the temperature down to 140 Celsius and work with that. So in other words, whatever material you put inside this has to survive 140 degrees Celsius, and it has to do it for at least 3 minutes. If your material can survive that, then yes, there's a possibility that this could print on it.
Have you tried nylon yet?
I haven't tried nylon, but I have tried. I've tried 100% polyester. I've tried microfiber polyester, and it works just fine there. This is a polyester here, so we're going to go ahead and give this a whirl. Let me show you how the process works.
This here is our P500. It's just a polyester.
Just a polyester baby bib?
Yeah.
And it comes with a blue trim as well as a pink trim, right?
Yeah, the blue trim is B500.
Okay. Okay, well, that makes perfect sense, ladies and gentlemen.
I always want to say PB500 because I love peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah, well, you know, no one needs to order peanut butter and jelly from Condi, okay? Although you could
might be able to make one in there.
I was going to say, but if you're into paninis, the DK20S, great panini press, okay? Some caution is required, but great panini press.
I was going to say you can make the Elvis special, the peanut butter.
Well, I wanted to get started, man, but you're just blah, 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 blah. Can we get started, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you. All right. So we're going to preheat this, Bo.
Okay.
And what we're going to do, I've got to unlock my curing unit because it has a little safety catch in there. And I just slide the whole tray in, fabric and all. Shut the door, and then we slide our lever over to preheat. And we're going to do a preheat for 30 seconds, okay?
You have to push any buttons, or does it start?
No, it basically knows what to do.
Okay.
So, you know, once you do the preheat, it's going to count down. And then once your 30 seconds is up, you basically pull it right out the tray. And there we go. So now I want to unlock.
So just a question, could you send your artwork to the machine while it's preheating, or?
Yes, you can. What I'm going to do here, make sure that that stays at heat. I'm rolling with 2 garment trays today, ladies and gentlemen, to kind of make the demonstration go along with a little more alacrity. But now that we've preheated our baby bib, we're going to take the tray, and it just pushes right into the printer, so to speak. Give me one quick second here. I've got a ready sign, so I am ready to print. I think I am going to print this from the Ricoh design software, Bo. Is there a way that we can jump into my computer and I can show people how this works?
We got, so if you're doing a full-size t-shirt, you would have to fold it so that it fits into the tray, right? And
yes, yes, you do. And there is a technique that you use to fold it, so to speak. We'll demonstrate that once we get into some other products that we're going to demo today.
Barb let us know that the melting point in nylon is around 220 degrees Celsius, or is that Celsius? Probably Fahrenheit.
Well, she's saying 220 Celsius there.
That seems like it'd be really hot, but
it does seem a little hot, but you never know.
And then Diane's wondering what sizes this has. So you said it's A5.
A5 and A4. So basically, the largest size here, and I'll just repeat them. When you're using the A5 tray, you can do a 5.8 by 8.3 inch area. When you use the A4 tray, which is the bigger tray, it's 8.3 by 11.7. So A4 is going to be around letter size, okay? It's a couple of inches or 0.2 of an inch narrower, but it's 0.7 of an inch longer. But just think of it as like a size or 8.5 by 11 printer. Let me go ahead and pull up my graphic here, Bo. Bear with me.
So this all comes with the printer, right?
Now this particular,
not the graphic, but
not the graphic, but the design software comes with the Ricoh Ri 100. And as you can see, I've got my image on here. And just to show you some things that they can do, we can add some illustrations if we wanted to. So, you know, we could take a graphic and, ooh, it's already there.
Is that a shark or a whale?
It's a shark, and it says high speed. So how about that?
And you don't necessarily have to use the software if you don't want to, right?
Well, we're going to do this design out of the Ricoh software because it does come with it. But we'll also do a design out of Adobe Photoshop and Corel Draw so that we demonstrate that, you know, if you use a traditional graphic software program, you could use it with the Ricoh Ri 100.
Cool.
Okay, so this is my design here, Bo. Let me go ahead and send this over.
And we're doing fine, you said?
Yes, we're doing 600 by 600 DPI. Now, once you send the job over, so to speak.
Is it good?
Yeah. What happens is the start button will blink, so to speak. And when the start button blinks, it's receiving data from your computer. But once the start button turns solid and your display says press start key, you press the start key. Now, what's happening is as the tray goes in, it's measuring the platen height for the print heads. And what it's telling me is to set the tray a little lower, which I'm doing. Okay. Now, all this is basically, it's just a little warning system. It's to keep the print head from striking the material.
Have you had a head strike yet?
No. because like I said, basically the system prevents you from head striking. So in other words, you know, it's measuring the height of that material. There's an internal sensor inside, and if the internal sensor catches that material bow, then the unit knows that you might have a print head strike. So at that point, it tells you to lower the platen height.
So they've kind of dummy proofed it?
In a sense, yes.
Cool.
Like I said, it's a built-in safety feature keeping you from striking the print heads, because unlike some inkjet printers where wherever you change out the cartridge, you're also changing out the head, what they call the thermal head, these micro piezo print heads are professional print heads. There's the same type of print heads that you would find in a wide format printer, like a Epson or a Muto or something like that. So very professional print head. They're also expensive to replace. So having this is a nice feature because it keeps us from doing untold damage to the machine.
Now I've watched videos on you setting this up that I've been making for you. And from my opinion, like just watching Doug doing it, this printer on its setup is exactly, it's pretty similar to like your Sawgrass SG series.
Well, you know,
it's 800, your 500, 1,000.
It's basically coming from the same family. It's coming from Ricoh. Okay. Now you see.
That was quick. I'm sorry. I was going to show the print coming out, but.
Well, I tell you, what we did is it looks like we missed it by that much. Once it finishes printing, it does a little maintenance process. You know, in other words, it brings the print head over to what's called a capping station, just to make sure that all the print heads are clear. But at that point, it should give us a signal saying that we can remove the tray once the maintenance is done.
And don't worry, Doug Sprite, who's normally on this show with me, has about a 15% success rate with her stuff.
Well, you know, gee, all I can do is.
She's not here today, so everything that's wrong is her fault.
Oh, well, born to lose, destined to fail. All right. Okay.
Oh, you Pam is one of our followers here. She watches us every week. She has her King Primo creations. And did you know that her workmate, her only employee, his name is Chewbacca?
Nice.
And you have him captivated, Doug. He's watching very intently.
Well, hello, Chewie. I don't speak Wookiee. I wish I did. I'm probably getting a little bit more of a maintenance cycle here because it looks like it tried to print over material.
So, Doug, did you want to talk at all about how much?
Oh, as far as the cost of the printer is concerned? Well, to give everyone an idea at home, the cost of the printer itself, and let me just pull this info real quick. The cost of the printer itself, $3,160. The garment curing unit that you could get as an option is an additional $980. So all told, you're probably looking at about around $4,000 for the unit. Now, just so everyone at home knows, if you have a heat press, you can use a traditional heat press to heat set these inks as well. You don't necessarily need to get the garment curing unit, but what I think is cool about this unit is if you're operating in a small space like a kiosk, okay, there is no swinging heat platen bow. You know, it's only a front door. There's only one way that the tray loads in. So from a safety standpoint, it's pretty slick because you're not dealing with direct heat.
If you're working in, you know, direct contact with your heat press, it can get pretty hot if it's close to you.
Yeah.
This, I don't feel the heat at all.
Exactly, because to get to the heat source, we've got to unlock a door, slide in, shut the door, and then set it to fix or cure. Now, I'm doing a 3-minute cure on this one, and when it comes out, we'll show the people at home our finished result.
And when you take the ink the shirt with the ink on it, you don't want to touch it, right?
Right. You don't want to
Before you
touch
put it in there. Once it's after the cycle and the heat.
That's right, because you got to heat cure it first. So if you disturb the print on the surface, if you touch or rub, that ink's going to smear because it's wet. Now, in a traditional DTG system where you're pulling that shirt off the platen, you got to be real careful. But basically, since this is kind of a loop platen system, so to speak, you know, all you really got to do is just grab the tray, and you don't necessarily have to touch the print. You don't have to mess with it at all.
So Cheryl's asking, how do you make sure that the design gets centered?
Well, how we do it is there's a center function in the, here, I'm going to go.
Give me a second too. Okay.
Here, let me just, here I've got my t-shirt. I've got my A4 size. I'm going portrait orientation. See the grid mark here?
And that's the same.
And it corresponds. Give me the overhead view.
Yeah. So you have your grid mark on there, and then you also have your
right, your corresponding grid marks.
Was there?
So when you import
go back.
Yeah, I'm going to import my graphic just to show people. Let me find that one I was working with here. Yeah. And so basically, if we did this graphic here, you're talking about from here to here. When you bring a graphic in, the software should automatically center the graphic, and it should automatically size the graphic for, you know, whatever's the biggest dimension it can produce. So in other words, if you bring a graphic in that is bigger than what the RI100 can print, the design software that Ricoh supplies will basically shrink it down to its maximum printable size, and it'll center it.
And so if you also, this is the A5 one.
Well,
right?
that's the A4 tray.
I'm sorry, this is the A4. So when you choose A4 in the software, it will automatically adjust.
Yeah, so here, you know, just to show you, let me go back a step, Bo. Bear with me.
It'll automatically adjust for you.
Like, for instance, here, I've got my A4, and notice if I go A5, it makes my design area smaller. Now, I also got the option between portrait and landscape here and here. And if you could get back to the overhead view.
It would be my pleasure, Doug.
Thank you, Bo. So when we go back to the overhead view, if we're loading portrait, you know, here's our right reading symbol here, and we would take our material, lay it portrait. If we were going landscape, we just rotate around. Now we're landscape, okay? But this next design we're going to do a portrait design, and I hope everyone can see that. This is our Vapor Apparel 24M onesie.
It's the 8505-24M. We have these in other sizes, you know, like the 12 months, 6 months.
Awesome.
So we have a question on here, Doug, as you could, maybe you can answer while you do this.
Sure.
Pre-treating. Do you have to pre-treat with this?
Great question, whoever asked.
Patricia.
Well, Patricia, the answer is no. Pre-treatment is only required when you're dealing with white ink, direct-to-garment systems. And essentially what pre-treatment does, it's a chemical treatment you put on your fabric to keep the ink from absorbing. Because otherwise you would have to lay down pass after pass after pass of white ink to create an opaque layer for your color to stand out on. But since we're using traditional CMYK and there is, you know, no white involved, then there's no pre-treatment involved because we can only do white or light color garments. Now, notice here, Bo, I'm trying to center this and smooth it out as best I can.
Did you sticky lint roll the last one?
I sticky lint rolled it before we went to camera, but you know I'm a stickler for sticky lint roller, so yes, we definitely want to sticky lint roller. This is a pro tip here that Bo just gave you, and that's because if there are any contaminants on here and we feed it into the printer, contaminant will block the ink from reaching the shirt. So,
okay, Doug, we have a good question on here too. Are you team DTG or DTF?
Well, that is a good question. And I would say I am for either depending on the business model. Now, me personally, I think direct to film, which is DTF, does serve a purpose if your business model is you're trying to produce hundreds or thousands of multicolored designs that you could put to any color. So, in other words, if your business is providing printed transfers, then I think direct to film absolutely rocks.
So you're down for DTF?
Believe me, I'm down for DTF, brother. Now, like I said, that's just in a volume capacity. If you're talking about an individual print or maybe a couple of dozen, the problem that you have with direct to film is as soon as the print comes out, it has to be powder coated. It has to be powder coated immediately. And then once you do the powder coating step, the curing step can take 5 to 15 minutes, depending on the amount of powder that's on there and the curing time.
Is this powder coating like the sublimation?
Kind of like the sublimation, the cotton powder that you may have tried out there. But long story short is it's way too labor intensive for doing small runs. What it works better on is volume production. And if you're going to do volume production, there are systems out there where you've got your DTF printer where you're printing on a rolled media that goes immediately out of the printer into a coater and then immediately out of the coater into a curing or heating unit. Now, if you've got a setup like that, you're ready to rock. But like I said, for doing onesie, twosies, or small production, you're much better off going with either direct to garment or white toner printing for that purpose. It tends to lend itself way better to customization than direct to film. And that's just my opinion. I could be wrong. All right, got to preheat this, Bo. So
I think you got something in the oven, though.
do it?
I think so.
Well, then you got me yip yapping and yeah.
Now, when you purchase this printer, Doug, does that include the ink with it, or?
That is a good question. The printer does not come with ink. You have to buy the ink separate. And like I said, that's basically because of the shelf life of the ink. You've only got about a 6-month shelf life with this ink. Usually, if you're getting sublimation ink tends to have a longer shelf life because,
a year or two.
Yeah, because it's a bit more concentrated. But this is a liquid dye ink, about a 6-month shelf life. Now, of course, the advantage of that is because it is a thinner solution, so to speak, a thinner ink. You don't have to do near the maintenance. You don't have to do the head the head cleanings and stuff like that because of clogging. So it does have their advantage there.
Does it come with the platens?
It does come with the A4 platen. If you want an additional platen, you buy it extra. If you want the A5 platen, that is extra. Yeah, I wrote that as a target.
Oh, I thought that was the...
No, that's not. Let's just show people here. So in other words,
you want to go to the camera behind me?
I can. If I had just dropped the design another inch or two, we would have been dead on. But like sublimation, there is no hand or feel to this. And because the ink has now been heat set, essentially this is ready to wear. So we could put this on Princess and she can puke all over it.
So we're putting it on Princess, right?
Well,
but what about those inks?
As far as the inks are concerned,
inks safe for Princess?
Yes. As far as the inks are concerned, the inks meet all what are called CPSIA regulations, Consumer Product Safety Information Act. But what is a more rigorous regulation than that is California Prop 65. And the inks meet California Prop 65 standards. So the inks are completely safe. If you were to get this system, we have the documentation on the ink. We'd be more than happy to send it to you. But we have the material safety data sheets that let you know that everything about this is safe, which is why I think it is cool for doing things like baby products. Because if we go with cotton onesies or cotton bibs, and we're using a Prop 65 approved ink, then basically you know you have got a safe product for babies and toddlers.
Now, Patricia's asking if it worries, if you have to worry about bleeding through the back of the substrate. And
nope. I've never had an issue with bleeding because we're not looping the material through, so to speak. We're laying down the entire garment, so to speak.
I just noticed he's on a hoverboard.
That's right. You like that.
Yeah.
All right.
And then we had another question. Does it peel or crack after a while? And
no, because we are dyeing the fabric. So
yeah,
once the fabric is dyed and it's heat set, then no, there is no cracking. You
like
can
normally with screen, is your shirt screen printed?
Yes, this shirt is screen printed. You
can
can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll have a feel and it'll crack over time. This is directly on this. This feels just like sublimation.
Yeah. So in other words, it's like getting that sublimation effect where you're putting the dyes directly into the fabric and you're heat setting them in. So you're good to go. Let's do another one.
Oh yeah, let me get to your computer. So this one you are not going through your
design software.
Yeah.
No, this one, let's go through Photoshop.
You ready?
I'm ready for you. Okay, so here I have my image in Photoshop. Like I said, let me just kind of do a image resize. And all I need to make sure is that my image will fit within A4. And so right now this image is basically 6.5 by 10. So we should be cool there. Remember, we do not have to mirror or reverse the graphic. We can basically go File, Print. Just make sure that the Ricoh Ri 100 is your default printer. We've got this, it says select paper size. So basically we need to think of this as a tray. It's set to the A4 tray, so we should be good to go. We'll just click on the print button here.
So Doug, if you were a master in, Photoshop or your Corel or something like that, could you potentially, I don't know, do like a split design and print like an A4 section at a time?
Now, if you have what I want to call a separated design, and I want to use my shirt here as an example, like if you had this design here, then you had text above, text below, could you position the shirt and do kind of like a multiple run, so to speak?
I was thinking like the Andy Warhol soup can.
Yeah.
But
by the same token, if you had a continuous design that you were trying to do, I'm probably going to say it's not going to work because having to align the design from print 1 to print 2, I mean, if you're off by a smidge, you're going to see it on the garment. I've tried to do that with bigger DTGs. I tried to do that with a Brother 541, where I would print one half of a design and then try to align it, print the other half. I had to bring some colored Sharpies with me because there would be some finite lines where I'd have to fill in with the Sharpie, so to speak. It's easier said than done. As a matter of fact, it's so difficult to do, I wouldn't even tackle that. But like I said, if you got a separated design where maybe you've got the graphic on top and text down below, or text above and graphic below, could you do it in 2 steps? Yeah, you sure could.
Would you just cure in between? Like you do the one.
Yeah, so you would do, let's say, the top half of your design, cure that, then do the bottom half of the design, cure that. Okay.
So something with sublimation, when you press it twice, 3 times, you can lose the color, the vividness of the image.
Yeah.
Curing, it's not going to really do that to the image.
No. If the same area were exposed to, let's say, like multiple cures, 2 times, 3 times, no, it should be fine. As far as this is concerned, just to let people know, there are bigger direct-to-garment systems out there than this system here. So if size was an absolute importance, yeah, you would probably want to go with a bigger DTG. What we love about this, it's 4 color. So
we do have a question, can you do white? And I don't know if that means a white garment or white
As far as white ink,
So you
no.
can answer that with your.
No, this does not print with white ink. So we do not do dark garments with this.
Are you going in the bottom?
After I do my little maintenance cycle,
Oh,
I sure am.
sorry.
Oh, that's okay. I kind of threw you there. All right, we can do it.
Oh, okay.
So let me show people how to do it. We on? Okay. Here's my unlock button. This can be disabled, but I like leaving it on for safety. We just simply take the wet print out of the printer into the curing unit, shut the door, slide our select bar over to cure, and now we've got our 3-minute timer on our curing there. Getting back to this printer's concern, the reason you're going with a unit like this is because, one, you need a compact unit. You may not have a lot of space in your office. You may not have a lot of space in your shop. Maybe you need to be on site or mobile. You want to decorate at the state volleyball tournament or the local track or things of that nature. What I love about this system is it's portable. I mean, even though these two pieces are stacked on top of one another, they basically unstack very easy. They're very easy to load and unload. It doesn't require a lot of power.
So
we're basically powering this off of one, 15 amp line.
This morning, speaking of carryability, portability, this morning, Doug moved this from our office into the back.
Yeah.
To get it out of the back. And then, David asked us to do a live.
And so it was like, we moved it again.
I was sitting there and I'm like, Doug, didn't you just move that printer? He's like, yeah.
Such as life as Connie.
This guy moves around almost every single day in here.
Yeah. Not only that, he does get shut off for a significant amount of time. When that happens, you might have to do basically a maintenance cycle to it. The maintenance cycle is fairly simple. It's basically cleaning the wiping blade and cleaning the capping stations that are inside here. There's a little device, and I'll just kind of hold it up here. Little device that basically plugs in like so to clean the print head. It just magnetically snaps on. Oh. So, yeah, cleaning the unit's fairly easy. All right, Bo.
Yeah. Does this have anything? I know that your white toner stuff has like a price per print calculation system.
Mm-hmm.
Does this have anything like that, or?
That is a good question. I don't know if it actually keeps track of how much ink that it uses to produce a print. Basically, what I can tell you is the.
Do you know? Can you share the price of the ink?
Well, the price of the ink, you're looking at about $87 for the black and about $72 for your colors, cyan, magenta, and yellow. And like I said, if you were doing A4 size prints, equal coverage, in theory, you are probably going to get about around 500 prints out of a cartridge set. So, like I said, it's pretty stingy when it comes to ink. But as far as an exact cost per print, the only way you could really do that is if your direct-to-garment calculates how much ink it uses to generate the print, and if all 4 colors are the same cost. If they're the same capacity, same cost, and you basically know the volume, it's fairly easy to figure out. But with this one, we really don't know, but
Pam was saying that what's the bottom slide called? She was the
curing unit, or
no, just that part.
Yeah, I call it the lever.
The lever. It reminded her of old dishwashers, and I agree with her now that she said that.
Well, now that you say that,
yeah, we had one like that, and that's what I'm going to think. Cassandra says that you guys should all hit the like button. I agree.
So here's how this is it on the Vapor onesie. I'm going to hold it up here. So when you go to daycare, you can say, my kid's the one wearing the hip onesie.
Yeah.
My kid is cooler than yours.
Oh, that's in Earth time? That's good.
And as far as this little bit of ditter pattern in this guy's face, that was actually part of the design, just so everyone can see that. But again, you know, and I'll let you
So
stretch it.
Pam has asked this question twice. Sorry, Doug, I was going to get to it. Can you do hard substrates?
Can you do hard substrates? Well,
And that's a good tie-in to something else as well, right?
that is a good question, Pam. We will find out in a few weeks when we have our virtual open house.
Yeah, we should put
right?
the banner up, right?
Is there a banner available,
There's
Bo?
always a banner. Look at this. The virtual
There,
open house.
virtual open house.
July 28th through 30th. Where at?
Here.
Condi virtually.
Here. Through that recording device right there into your home.
Yep. Do you know what day you're going on, Doug?
I believe I will be going on Saturday, and I will have Miss Cheryl Kuchik with me from Just My Imagination Design, and we're going to do a class on the RI 100. And can we do hard substrates with it? We will find out. So register for that class. Who wanted to know? Was that Pam wanting to know?
And look, you can stretch this. There's nothing. I mean, I think that the material is going to. The
material will probably rip.
The
but,
onesies, you know.
Like I said, there's no physical feel, so there is no cracking like you would normally associate with vinyl or screen printing or even white toner printing. So yeah, we're basically dyeing the fabric. Now, Bo wanted to know how dark we could get, or if we could do something relatively dark.
Sprite and I used to make trips up to Walmart up there at Tillman's Corner. This was from one of them. So this shirt's for Sprite.
Okay, well,
even though she's not here, we'll be nice and we'll make her something.
Well, we're going to make her a cool shirt. Is our way of saying thank you for letting us take over your airtime. Now, Bo, let me get this tray out the way. And let's focus on this tray here.
Pam is signed up for the class.
Yes. Well, in that class, we're going to figure out how we can use this printer to decorate hard substrates. Okay.
And Dee's on here saying that it's great that the inks are sold individually.
Yes, it is nice because if you run out of a particular color, you're not replacing all of them. Now, I am laying this portrait orientation so that everyone can see here. And when it comes to folding, there is a cavity underneath the platen. So we just basically shove everything into the cavity. Make sure there is no material on the edge. And we just lock into place like that. Fairly simple.
Hey, Doug, Evelyn's on here, and I know that she hi, Evelyn. She posted this on some forums. I saw this. I didn't see any of the answers, but she's wondering your recommendation on the eye color or the Creo. And these are white toner printers, right?
White toner printers, both of them. Me personally, I like the Creo, and the reason I like the Creo is because Creo is based off of an Oki engine. The eye colors are usually based off of Ricoh engines. The issue that I have with a Ricoh engine, it has what's called an S paper path. It's got to bend the material into position for printing. Now, when you're talking about a thick material like the Forever Low Temp Laser Dark, it doesn't like to feed through an S paper path. The Okis or the Creos, which are based off of the Oki engine, a Creo or Oki is going to have a straight paper path. So material goes directly in and directly out. I know that when it comes to a unit like the 9541, you can feed a material as thick as 350, 360 grams per square meter, which is some pretty thick stuff. So to answer that question, I like the Okis just because of the design of the paper path and the design of the system.
Which Oki is Creo?
And yeah, that's, all the Creos are based on an Oki engine. So I think it's a better engine for transfer printing. Although one unique thing about an eye color is, I don't know if you could still do it with the models or not, but you can reposition the white toner. You can take the white toner out of the last slot and put it into the first slot. Now, what that means is if you're doing any type of stationary printing, you could do some awesome stationary printing as long as the material isn't too thick. All right, Bo, I've got my fabric pre-pressed. I've got it inside the
So
Ricoh.
these take about 6 minutes, right?
Yeah, you know, a couple of minutes to print, about 3 minutes to cure. I'm going to switch over to, this is an image in Corel Draw.
Now we're in Corel, right?
Yeah, we're in Corel.
And this is the one that's going on the gray shirt.
And this is going on the gray shirt. And you'll notice that my design is primarily black. Now, the reason I chose this design was to demonstrate the point. If you're using an RI100, if you're using a standard 4-color process printer and you go on to a color, whatever colors you print definitely need to be darker than the material you're printing to.
Have you done this yet?
I haven't done this yet.
So
this is all brand new. We're going to see what happens, Bo.
And so this shirt is 90% cotton, 10% polyester, if I remember.
Yeah.
It's a Hanes, and I think they're around $3 to $4 at Walmart.
Yeah, and if we mess it up, it's Sprite shirt. So,
yeah,
whatever.
I mean, it is possible I paid for it, but
yeah. Well, again, whether we're going out of Adobe or going out of Corel, we didn't mirror reverse the graphic. Essentially, once you have your unit set up, it's basically file print. You know, kind of like what you would do with your Virtuoso printers out there.
And it sucks it in.
Sucks it in.
Is it doing the head?
Yeah, it's adjusting for the head height. And the way it adjusts, it's physically moving the platen up and down. The heads basically come across one track, like an Egyptian.
Pam's wondering if you've ever, the bangles, that was a very good.
You like that?
Pam's wondering if you've ever gotten any grease on anything from the inside the cavity.
No, not yet, but I'm trying my best. We're putting this printer through its paces, so to speak, seeing what it can do, pushing the limits. And if something like that arises, well, I guess we'll just do another show on how to get the grease out of your RI100. Whatever you do, just don't use any kind of cleaner in your cast iron skillet. You know, there's a rule against that.
What's a cast iron skillet?
You wouldn't know. You're from Michigan. All right, we're printing along. So basically, we have our polyester items here.
Evelyn was saying that she saw that the live got canceled, and that reminded David that the live got canceled and that maybe we should do a live today. So,
well, David said the show has to go on. You know, at that point, he started recruiting in the hallway, and you know, Bo's pretty particular about who he works with.
Unfortunately, Doug and I are the only two here. So
yeah, so we're the show you get, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we really do. Thank you for watching. As far as information is concerned, Bo, I will get some information so that when you upload this to YouTube, we'll put links in the long description. That way, if you're interested in any of this, you can click on the links, go to our website. We'll take you directly to the pages.
I'm here too.
Oh, we just got word that David Gross is in the
here.
building today. He's not off playing with grandkids or waiting at the charging station with his Tesla. He is here live, sticking his head through the studio door, ladies and gentlemen. Always encouraging.
Mm-hmm. It's Friday. We got to have fun on Friday.
Well,
right?
you know, you got to have fun. You got to do more. Everyone out there, I hope you're doing more today.
Yeah.
We're definitely doing more than what we planned. Okay, Bo, I think my print is done here. So I'm going to pull it out.
Where are we going, in the bottom?
We're going in the bottom. We're going to unlock it.
Doesn't look bad so far.
Slide our tray in.
That sneak peek you gave me, the dark gradient, you know, the black to the grayish look good on there. Oh.
Yeah, so basically, let's say we were going on to this color red. I could go with black onto this color red and get away with it. But let's say I
could get a
was
blue on there. Or
well, you know, if I have this red shirt and I print blue, odds are it's going to look purple once we heat set it because basically the dyes are going to mix, so to speak. So, like I said, if you want to go on to lighter colors, you can. I recommend like neutrals, pastels, things of that nature. You should be able to get away with it. But just remember, whatever graphic you're printing, that graphic needs to be darker than the material. If it's darker than the material, you could probably get away with it. But if it's not, then you are probably going to have a color shift. And if that's the type of printing that you need, then you need to look at a white toner system or you need to look at a white ink direct to garment system.
hey, Doug, Evelyn is on here saying that she needs a direct contact to you. Should I?
Evelyn, you need a direct
Should I
contact to
get
me.
the cell number?
Well, actually, just send an email to support@condi.com and just put attention Doug DeWitt on it, and it will come to me. Now, the reason I'm saying to do it that way is because when you send an email through support, it generates a support ticket, and myself and other members of the support team were able to track the progress of that. Sometimes if you send emails direct, they have a tendency to get lost, but send that email through support@condi.com, which also brings up the point that this month,
Oh yeah,
we are offering free tech support
Oh yep. Hold
for
on.
the month of July. So if you have an item
Look
in
at
your
this, Doug.
shop that
Look
you
at
may
that.
not have
Oh, that's
necessarily,
your sales rep. Sorry, I do that every time.
okay,
Look
well,
at that. You got
there it is. There's how to get in touch with us.
1-800-826-6332, option 2.
Or support@condi.com. And
it's free all month.
it's free all month. So if it's been a while since you've bought anything from us, maybe you bought a product somewhere else and you're having trouble with it. Whatever. The point is that if you contact our technical support department, tell us what's going on, we will do our best to resolve your issue at no charge throughout the month of July.
Hey, Doug,
Why? Because we love you.
Doug, we have a very special guest on here named Holly. It's my mom.
Oh,
If you'd like to say hello to my mom.
hello. Nice to meet you. Your son, everything that flies out of his mouth is just dripping sarcasm. I love it. Okay, let's see how our shirt turned out, Bo. Well, actually, this is Sprite's shirt, so let's see how Sprite's shirt turned out.
Look at that. Now we're going to go to the top camera, Doug.
Let's do it. That's pretty slick.
My mom says hello to you. Look at that. Is that a picture of her on there?
I don't know. Are you saying that's your mom?
No, so Sprite.
Well, I don't know if it's a picture of Sprite, but I do love the atomic cloud eyes. The hand here that's holding up is that a Tesla coil? I don't know. But the point is, this is a black design done on what I would call a heather gray. It's not exactly an athletic gray. It's a little darker than that, but it's still lighter than what I'd call charcoal gray. So let's give it a heather gray. Now you'll notice here.
Pam says that's pretty cool. I think it's awesome.
Now you'll notice here we've got a little bit of an indentation, so to speak, from the platen. But unlike with sublimation, where you have that indentation that never goes away, since this is 90% cotton, basically if we just took this shirt out and hung it, that little indentation mark would go away. And let me get it. This camera here.
Which one? Where'd you go, Doug?
The zoom. Here I am. Pretty slick. And like I said, this ink is set. So unlike some other transfer methods, Bo, where
Doug,
you make a garment and you might have to wait like a day for the garment to cure before you could wear it. No, with this process right here, let's say we were at the concert, we made someone their custom concert shirt. They could literally put the shirt on right then and there and wear it, and it's going to wear fine. No hand, no feel, because we're dyeing the material. Like I said, what I dig about this machine is it's compact, So if
I'm at the
you're
mall hanging out with my wife, Rachel, and we're, getting slushies and stuff and pretzels at Annie Ann's, and you see the kiosk in the middle, I could just give them a picture of her, get it on a shirt,
yeah,
and go right back to eating pretzels.
biggity bang, yeah, biggity boom. And if you've got this set up at the kiosk, it's got safety in mind, so no little kid can run up and stick their hand
That's
inside
true.
of your platen.
It is pretty well heat sealed, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's very well heat sealed. It's very well compact. So like I said, you got a kiosk printing business, you got it printing on the go, you do live events, corporate events, things of that nature. You can definitely work with this system. Another great thing is it can do a variety of different fabrics. Just to show you, bear with.
And Dee's on here saying that it's quick turnaround time, great for personalization.
Yeah,
And
and that is one
wanna-
that I did at a previous show.
You want to go to the side camera here?
Yeah, go ahead. This is on sweatshirt material.
So this is 100% cotton, probably.
This is a cotton poly blend, actually, like 75% cotton, 25% poly.
Did you? Oh, hold it right there. Did you add this the dropout there in your design? Because I know that the designer has the like faded edge.
I did this in the design, but yes,
Because I think that looks
the
pretty,
design software does have the ability to
like
feather
right over,
edges.
right over here. Like I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, so that's on sweatshirt material.
So you could do sweatpants.
You could do sweatpants. You could do sweatshirts. You could do throw pillows with it, canvas throw pillows. Well, it's a lot of. But let's say like cotton squares that you would use to put together and make a quilt. Oh yeah, do it all day.
Have you done an actual photograph yet?
I don't think I've done a photograph yet. We might have to save that for next time, Bo, because I'm sure, given how popular the two of us are working together, the show's going to be a mega hit.
Yeah.
And, the audience is going to scream, get Bo and Doug back on there.
It's the new series, Bo and Doug verse.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're going to have to work on that, Bo. So if you have any questions, comment here on YouTube, on Facebook. Bo and I will go through the comments. And if there are any questions we didn't tackle, we'll address them after the show. Bo has been working with me on some videos that run through the entire process of the Ricoh Ri 100. So we're going to have those on Condi TV real soon. And you will be back with Sprite next Wednesday.
I believe she said we're going to do something Wednesday, but she...
Well, I was going to say, aren't you doing a webinar with Sawgrass?
We are doing a webinar next Friday with Sawgrass. So next week we have Doug on July 12th. He is doing something with transfer paper.
Yeah, I'm going to show some inkjet opaque material that's called Condi Jet Imprints Opaque 2, and we're going to compare it to Nina product.
Then Wednesday, Sprite and I are going to do what we were going to do today. We're going to do Pattern Palooza, where we're going to, show you guys how to use patterns, what patterns to use for certain occasions, how to design patterns. We're going to give away a whole big pattern pack.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then on Friday, we're going to do a live with Olivia from Sawgrass, where we're going to, we haven't really hammered out the details yet, but it's going to be creative.
Exciting.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. We'll have Creative Studio on there. We'll make her feel awkward.
That should be easy to do.
How you can use Condi design, or not Condi designs, Condi templates in Creative Studio. We'll be giving away, I think she said, 2 free 3-month passes to Creative Studio, or 3 2-month passes. I don't remember.
Well, we'll iron out those details, ladies and gentlemen.
It'll be great. And then, we'll be going into the next week.
Yeah, and don't forget, we have our Christmas in July coupon. You can get that coupon code off of condi.com, so make sure you use it. Take advantage of that $20 off coupon. Don't forget about the virtual Sublimation Summit at the end of the month. Make sure you register.
Not Sublimation, the virtual open house.
Virtual open house.
Was this the
coupon?
Well, we have our Christmas in July sale going on.
Yeah. And I don't know. You got the Sublimation Schoolhouse, which is the quarterly gallery where, submit your best back-to-school product, sublimated, and you can win Condi cash.
Yeah.
I want to say grand prize winner wins up to $400.
I want to say I should know this because I listen to Sprite say it every week. But
Yeah, and then as I flubbed it before, I'll try it again. Virtual open house at the end of the month, July 28th through 30th. Make sure you register. Not only is that going to get you in for all the classes that are available, which are free, registration is free, but it also qualifies you to get special discounts, basically some incentive packages. We might be doing a Christmas in July box. I don't know.
Oh, we're not supposed to talk about them.
I don't know. You know, maybe, maybe not.
So no, we'll be on every day, not every day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday next week at 3:30 will be the time, and that is Central.
Daylight time. Yeah, we operate on Central Daylight Time here. So 3:30 is show time. Make sure you tune in next week. Make sure to register for virtual open house. Remember to like, click, and share.
Ring the ding-a-ling bell.
Yeah, absolutely, because we need the traffic. Anything else we need to cover, Bo? You think
I
we
think
got
that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, well, hopefully Sprite will be back next week with another episode of Friday Live. Catch me next Tuesday for the T-shirt transfer paper power half hour. And remember, anything that you need regarding sublimation or transfer printing, call Condi.
Have
Bye,
a good
everyone.
weekend. See ya.